Hey Gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey, and that is the people mover for the modern era. This is the 2023 Chevy Tahoe in the LS trim, and this really is the modern family vehicle. And in this video, I will take you on a quick tour of what makes this 8-seat SUV so special. Stay tuned. Before we get too far into this one, I do want to thank Franklin and the team here at Pelche Chevrolet in Tyler, Texas. If you are in the market for a big 8-row SUV and are in the East Texas area, come see Franklin at Pelche Chevrolet. Tell them Corey sent you. But let's take a look at what makes the 2023 Tahoe the family vehicle for the modern age, starting with underneath the hood. Able to do that one-handed. This is Chevy's long-running 5.3 liter V8 engine. This makes 355 horsepower, 383 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. And depending on how you have your Tahoe equipped and what engine you've got, whether it's the bigger 6.2 V8 or that 3-liter turbo diesel under the hood, that Duramax, you can trailer up to 8,400 pounds. So when you are wanting to haul people and a lot of stuff, a Tahoe may be your best bet. Closing the hood and taking a step back, again, this is the quote-unquote entry-level LS version, so no fog lights up front and no real frills, so to speak, but a very handsome front end nonetheless. You can see we've got LED running lights and turn signals in that kind of boomerang pattern on either side of the front grille, and LED headlights. A very cleaned up, classy look here. Being that it is an LS, you just get the chrome bar across the front with a black grille. I really don't mind it. I think this is a very clean and handsome look for a large SUV. Coming down here to the sides, you can see there is an actual air pass-through right there to help air get around the front of this vehicle to help improve aerodynamics. And we will look at the fuel economy here in just a second. But a very cleaned up all-around look on this 2023 Tahoe. I can say with the 5.3 under the hood, and this one being a four-wheel drive model, we do get 15 city, 20 highway, and 17 combined. And a lot of that has to do with how big this is, how thirsty that V8 is, but those are rather respectable numbers here in 2023. Moving around to the side, you can see very handsome updated styling here as well. When the Tahoe was updated for this current generation, the wheelbase got longer to give more room to rear seat occupants, both in the second and third row. And they gave, for the first time, an independent rear suspension. We'll talk about that more when we climb inside. It helps with ride, but also helps with passenger space. Moving to the wheels and tires, you can see even here on this LS model, we have 20-inch wheels. These are Continental tires, and they are Eco Plus technology rated. So again, helping with those fuel economy numbers. They are 275/60 20-inch wheels and tires. And yes, these are more fuel efficient than a more aggressive off-road wheel. I really like the style of these 20-inch wheels here on this LS version. Definitely not a quote-unquote base model wheel in my opinion. Very handsome all the way around. Moving to the side, you do get a little bit of chrome bright work around the windows and the roof rails, chrome badging up front. Very classy look, but we will look here at the window sticker. Not a lot on this one. They do have upgraded 20-inch wheels, so there is that. And then the Radiant Red is a $500 option, putting you at $60,000 out the door. So not that bad for an 8-seat SUV. Again, we'll talk more about that here in just a second. See, we do have running boards here on the side. Oh, sounds like we're getting a shipment of new vehicles here. But very classy look, very big vehicle all the way around. Like I said, they did upgrade and improve the size on this thing for this generation. Moving back to the back, a little more chrome here on the tailgate with the surround around the gold Chevy bow tie, Tahoe spelled out in chrome back here. No wipers to see back here because they actually hide that rear wiper under this rear lip spoiler, and does a very good job of staying out of the way. This does have a remote release to open just the glass, and there you can see where the wiper is hiding. Allows you to be able to just throw a little bit of something back here in the back. Over 25 cubic feet of space with that third row of seat up, but we'll get more into that here in just a second. Closing the glass, you can see very clean look back here, and then the release for the full hatch is right there. This LS model does not have a power hatch, and yes, that is as wide as it opens. I'm pushing on it. It's not going anywhere, and at 5'10" myself on relatively flat ground, I could see 6-foot people bonking their heads on it, getting back behind it, but I'm like the perfect height for this. If you are vertically challenged, well, this is the only way you're going to close it. I don't see any straps or anything to help those shorter people be able to close this. So that may be something vertically challenged people may want to look into, is the power hatch option versus this standard gas strut hatch back here. And you can see, before we get too much into the rear cargo, this does have LED running lights back here, but incandescent turn signals, rather huge at that. But getting back into the cargo area, you can see this is our largest set of luggage. We actually had what is the fancier version of this, the Escalade, for a week of testing here on the channel. Go check that video out. It was a lot of fun, but we were able to get all of our luggage back here without folding a single seat down. So 25 cubic feet of storage back here behind the third row. It is all very usable. You are able to get a lot back here, so you really can pack luggage for all 8 people that sit inside. But if you need a little bit more, these seats do fold down. It is a 60-40 split bench, so it is very easy to flip and fold down. You just pull that. You can see the back seat does have top tethers for all 3 seats. These are not power operated, but you get a little strap here that you can pull them back up and into place. The third seat belt, the center seat belt, does go up into the ceiling here, and there are little places for you to latch the seat belts so that they don't rattle and make a lot of noise. But when you've got those seats folded, do give you a lot of cargo space back there. In fact, you get over 120 cubic feet with all 3 rows folded. So that is a lot of storage space here in this Tahoe. Being that it's not a power hatch, you kind of had to give it a nice good throw to get it closed, but when you do, very clean look. Let's move on and check out the inside now. Before we move inside, I did want to show you the key, typical Chevy key. Nice little bit of texture back here. I really like it, but lock, unlock, remote start, really like that. And then the hatch release, so you can open up that rear hatch. Again, it's not a power hatch, but it does a good job. Do like I mentioned earlier, Chevy's entry system, so this is on all 4 doors. Again, going to the fact that this is a family car, so if you needed to put a child in the car seat first, you can lock and unlock from the back seat here. And I really like that there is no pad on the back of these doors, so you push it to lock it, push it to unlock it. Depending on where you are and how you have these locks programmed, you can make sure that all doors unlock or just the door that you are at. Very much like that feature. Looking inside here, we do have a light colored cloth interior. Probably not my first option as a father of a 4-year-old, but I do like the contrasting kind of cocoa brown and the tan seats here. Very curious as to what the black interior would look like. I think that would be just too much black, so I do like the differentiation here, even if my 4-year-old would probably get these seats very dirty. They are very durable cloth seats, so they do feel like they will last you a very long time. Did mention we do have standard fixed in place running boards here on this model, so getting in is very easy. Even if for some reason there is no grab handle on the A-pillar here for the driver like they do in the Silverado, passenger does get a grab handle. I guess they want you grabbing onto the steering wheel. Let's go ahead and fire up that 5.3 liter V8. And you can see we've got a little information screen here, a smaller infotainment screen there, and woo! Crank that air. It is over 70 degrees here in winter, so, you know, gotta love East Texas. I do like how you just get your traditional analog gauges here, nothing too fancy or over the top. And then the right side of your steering wheel here does control all the different information that you can get on that screen there. So you can get a lot of pertinent information displayed for you right there. Your cruise control and radio controls are up here. The volume and seek are on the back side of the steering wheel, so very easy to control. Really like the steering wheel. It's a little thin, but very soft, leather wrapped. You do get a faux leather wrapped dash with a little bit of fake stitching up here, a little bit of fake wood, and that continues onto the door panel here. Fake wood, fake stitching, but a rather nice look, very upscale. Power door locks, power windows. You do get express up and down for the front, just power for the rear, so you're going to be holding those. And then moving over here, you've got your automatic start stop for your engine, parking sensor deactivation, your lane keep, your traction control. This one is 4-wheel drive, but it only has 4 high and 2 high with an off-road mode here. There is an automatic function. You can turn this for different drive modes. You can see we've got normal, sport, off-road, and tow haul. So that changes different things from your throttle input and your transmission mapping. And then you've got your light control here with your brightness control up there. We mentioned everything on the steering wheel. You do get Chevy's typical built-in infotainment here. If you opt for the top trims with the larger screen, you do get the Google designed interface here, but this is the old school version found on other Chevrolet models outside of the Tahoe, Suburban, and Silverado. And then you get the push button controls for the transmission. So anything that leaves you stationary is a button. Anything that would make you move, like reverse, is actually a button that you have to pull up on. You can see here we do have a backup camera with trajectory lines or your trailering lines. You can turn both of those off. It's a good camera. There's not a lot of just crystal clear resolution, but it does the job. See right here, you've got a button to pull up for drive, but we'll go ahead and put it in park. Very simple to use system here. And then no sliding door on this little pocket here for additional storage. I do believe that's reserved for higher trims. Again, very classy look to the dash up here. You do get hard buttons way down here for your infotainment. So if you want to turn it off, go to home or whatever, very easy to use down here. Then you do have on this entry-level Tahoe 3-zone climate. So driver, front passenger, and then rear climate. You can control the rear climate from up here as well. And you just hit that button right here and it takes you to the climate controls on the screen up there, so you can control that from there. Very easy to use. A lot of storage space here, USB-A and USB-C, a cigarette style outlet there. Storage here, side-by-side cup holders, which I really like. Textured storage here, which I really like. Very wide opening center console that is wide enough for hanging file folders or this removable plastic piece. Chevy does give you a cleaning cloth for that touchscreen infotainment, which I like. 2 cup holders for the backseat passengers. And then I really like the door pockets here that have 3 levels of storage. There's a little bit there in the grab handle, a little bit down there, and even more down on the bottom. Single glove box here, no dual glove box like on the trucks, the Silverados, but very nice storage options up here. I'm sure a good road trip vehicle, you're gonna have a lot of stuff situated up here in the front. And then taking a look, this one does not have a sunroof, so I've got plenty of headroom. I'm 5'10" again, so plenty of room, very good driving position. I'm sitting up, I'm above a lot of other vehicles here on the road. We see a lot of these here in Tyler, Texas. There are a lot of pickup truck based SUVs out and about here in East Texas. So very familiar driving position to many here in East Texas. Center overhead doesn't have any storage, so to speak, but you can turn off the light control right there. LED lights, your OnStar button. Again, not a whole lot fancy up here, but let's go ahead and move to that back seat, which I mentioned this is an 8-passenger SUV, so that means we have a 3 across bench here and 3 across bench in the back. I'm gonna go ahead and slide these seats back. So we have 2 levers here. Pull this one twice and it flips and folds to get in the back seat, and then your sliding mechanism is right there. But I'm gonna hop in. Again, at 5'10", plenty of room both for my head and looking up here for my knees. I'm sitting behind myself, more than enough room. Interesting note back here, lock and unlock buttons for backseat passengers. No sunshade built in back here, but you do get a grab handle and a coat hook up here. I do like how the climate vents are in the ceiling in this, so really helps with especially rear-facing car seats, get the air to those rear-facing car seats. And because there are vents for the 3rd row, if you needed to, you could point that to a rear-facing car seat here in the 2nd row. This is a 60-40 split bench, so you can see the passenger side is the 40%, and then we do have a fold-down center armrest, 2 cup holders with a phone slot. Very nice. This is wide enough for 3 across seating for actual real-life adults, and there are lower anchors all the way across for child seats. So if you had child seats that cooperated with one another, you could get 3 across here in the middle row, no problem. And I already showed you those top tethers on the back row. Since this does have 3-zone climate, you do have your controls back here on the back of the center console, 2 USB-C ports, and a little bit of additional power in a 3-prong household style plug back there. Looking behind both of the front seats, you do get map pockets, so a very nice touch back there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do it. We'll climb out, and like I said, you pull this once, folds the seat down, very flat, lots of additional storage back here. I did mention over 120 cubic feet if you fold both seats down, but pull this again and it gives you a huge opening to get into that back seat. So this 40% side is all the way back. I will show you what it looks like to sit back here, but a very comfortable sitting position. I've still got plenty of headroom, and I did mention they made a independent rear suspension first here in the Tahoe. So this is the first generation to get the independent rear suspension, which allowed them to lower the floor so my knees are not in my chest. I'm actually sitting rather normally back here in the 3rd row. It is wide enough to get 3 across, but it is a little narrower thanks to the wheel well here on the side. You do get a cup holder, a USB-C port back here, so that's very nice. But all this is hard plastic back here. So while, yes, you do get amenities like a cup holder and power, the materials are a little on the scratchy side. But moving back behind the other seat, this is all the way back, and I've still got enough room that I am not touching. I could touch if I wanted to, but plenty of room back here in the 3rd row. And I will call to attention for the child seat installation. This does have a top tether. All 3 seats here in the middle row get a top tether. The center seat is located down on the seat bottom, but very roomy a 3rd row in this Tahoe to accommodate real life adults, and you can fit 8 of them back here in the back seat. And then I already mentioned the ceiling mounted vents and air control back here. So I really like this. This makes for a very compelling people mover, stuff mover. If you fold these seats down, you get even more cargo space than those 25 cubes back behind me right now, which I would say is more than enough. This is very usable for 8 people, 8 real people. Again, I want to thank the team, Franklin and all the guys over here at Pelche Chevrolet here in Tyler, Texas. I will put a link to their inventory and their website down below so you can check them out. If you want to see more from us and what we are testing, what we are doing, be sure and follow us. Hit all the buttons so that you know you get notified when we post new content, because we are doing a lot this month. And yeah, hit subscribe, ring the bell, whatever you have to do. You can find us on all social media platforms, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, all at GT Garage Talk, or you can head on over to gtgaragetalk.com. I'm not driving this one today. If you want to see me drive a Tahoe, as well as my wife and a son help review a Tahoe, be sure and leave us a comment down below, and we will let Chevrolet know to send us one for a week's worth of testing. But as for me here at Pelche Chevrolet in Tyler, Texas, until next time, gearheads, bye.